Prince Edward Island to Indian immigrants. We're full. Prince Edward Island, PEI, where my mother was born, not my mom. I'm just reading the article. And I have too many cousins to count, is Canada's smallest province with a population of just 176,000
Wow. What?
and an area of 5,660 square kilometers. Geographically speaking, it is somewhere between the sizes of Delaware and Rhode Island. So we'll scroll down here a bit. It's breakdown. There's not very many Indians on the island. See the pink here is the Indians, First Nations, the Micmac, Scottish, very overwhelmingly Scottish with some Irish mixed in, some English over here, and a bit of French. Mostly Scottish though. For centuries, PEIs existed as a quiet, isolated Celtic farming community. However, in recent years, it has seen an influx of immigrants from India, challenging the very essence of its cultural identity. Before 2006, international immigration to PEI was virtually non-existent, but it has increased dramatically. So there you can sort of see the numbers going up to in quarter one of 2024, you had almost 2,500.
Wow, that's quite a bit.
I mean, it don't take long. That's 10,000 in 1 year. So that's 5% of your, that's more than 5% of your population in 2 years. Right?
Yeah.
Oh no, in 1 year, in one full year. So because that's only a quarter. That's only a quarter. So that's 2,200 in a quarter. So he times that by 4 is 8,800. That's 5% of the population of the island.
Yeah.
India provided the most new permanent residents to Canada in 2023. So out of the new permanent residents in Canada, almost half, 140,000 from India. Here's the population charts from 2000 to 2023 for Prince Edward Island. So you can see sort of works its way up, and then around 2016, it takes off. This is driven almost entirely by immigrants and non-permanent residents because PEI has a fertility rate of just 1.22 children per woman, which is not good. That is not good. You need 2.3 to keep things in check. Immigration accounted for 96% of Canada's population growth in the third quarter of 2023. Just 4% of population growth was from births. So I don't know that we have to get into all that. The cost of living, I mean, that's all sort of obvious. But fewest doctors per capita, PEI is the fewest doctors per capita. The median wait time for arriving at the ER to be admitted by another hospital unit is 35.6 hours, more than double the national average of 14.7. PEI is the second longest wait time for referral by a general practitioner for treatment with a median wait of 55 weeks. So I don't know if it's a good idea to pile more people into that. So anyway, the governor has now come out and said that the Indian community PEI is not taking the 25% reduction very well. So apparently they're going to reduce the population of immigrants by 25%. I got a clip here.
And they don't like it? They're not.
Well, the Indians
don't like the reduction. What?
No, not the Indians. Oh, what happened? I couldn't share my screen.
So they're pushing back and they don't want this reduction, or?
Well, no, the people that are pushing back are the immigrants. The immigrants are pushing back because they're going to deport them.
Oh.
I mean, I can't find the part here, but they okay, this might be it here. In February 2024, the premier of PEI announced a reduction in the number of international nominees for permanent residency in Canada through the provincial nominee program. These PNP permits are ostensibly for temporary foreign workers and students, but in practice, they serve as a backdoor for recipients to worm their way into permanent resident status. With the new changes, the province will now prioritize healthcare, childcare, and construction workers while deprioritizing food, retail, sales, and service workers. The focus is clear. Essential work comes first. I think it's about 215, 220 that have been allocated to the sales and service sector this year, says Jeff Young, PEI Office of Immigration. That is a significant decrease from the past years when 700 to 800 service sectors employees were annually were granted a work permit. This year, the province of PEI will nominate just under 1,600 people for the path to permanent residency, which is down from about 2,100. So, about a 25% reduction in permits mostly concentrated in the low-skill food service jobs. Hundreds of food service workers in PEI will not have their documents renewed and will either need to leave or be deported. So I guess it's basically like a bunch of, um, not full. They're only here for a little while.
Temporarily. So I saw some of these clips. I think they were protesting, like being because there was no notice or something, and they're going to have to be removed.
Yeah. So here's the clip from Buddy talking.
Recent immigration changes that have hundreds of foreign workers worried they'll have to leave the province and the country, and some businesses worried they'll be out employees. So the question today,
that's whether there would be a pause considered on this economic policy change so that we can find that sustainable approach. The feedback we're getting is it's creating a lot of disruption in the workforce very abruptly.
We're monitoring this on a very regular basis, and we'll make some changes if we need to. But as of right now, I think we're committed to the February announcement as of today.
The reality of the situation. That February announcement by the PEI government was a plan to cut the number of nominees for permanent residency by 25% this year, and to drastically reduce the number of sales and service workers getting nominated from more than 800 last year to just over 200 this year. For days now, some of those foreign workers have protested the change, arguing since they're here already on work permits trying to qualify for a permanent residency nomination, they should still get that chance before their permits run out and they have to leave the country.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Quite the protest.
Yeah. Listen to this. Do I have the one of the? Yeah, this is the one. They're gonna go on a hunger strike.
Got our link in Charlottetown, PEI. Why? We've seen reports of hundreds of foreign migrant workers staging protests.
I hear it. Yeah.
You can hear it? Yeah. What the hell? How come I can't hear it?
Got our Lincoln J in Charlottetown, PEI. Why? Why is Lincoln in Charlottetown?
You can hear it?
What are your plans if the work permit doesn't get extended and then you're no longer legally allowed to work in Canada? What are you going to do? What are your next steps?
So we wouldn't hear no for an answer. If they wouldn't extend, we would stay on strike. If we have to go on hunger strike, we'll go. And we'll keep on striking until our last breath. We wouldn't give up.
I've heard hunger striking to death. Is that true? Are people willing to die here for that cause?
What's so funny?
I just can't. The hunger strike till your last breath. When you're on a temporary visa, you're not guaranteed to be here. If I go to another country on a temporary visa and they ask me to go, I mean, it's like, okay, I'm not supposed to be there. Like, how is this so different than what if I was to try and get into a different? It's mind-boggling.
Surely, if it comes to that, we would do that at the end if they don't listen to us.
Hey, I'm very interested to learn more about this. I honestly don't.
I don't know why I couldn't hear that. I hope I can hear that. Oh, you know what? Oh, yeah, that was my fault. God damn it. That's weird that you could hear it and I couldn't.
Yeah, that's weird. Hopefully.
Okay, I got one more clip here. I think I'll be able to hear this one. So this one, no, that's not it. It's this one. I won't play the whole thing of this, but this is just kind of funny. Because they're yelling at this guy for not being from there because he's from Toronto. And it's like, no comment.
All of us are international students, brother. We are done with them. Brother, why did you posted that video? Are you from here?
Go back to Toronto, where you came from. I'm going to step in your face.
We don't have any space for more of these people.
These people?
All right, well, we just landed here in beautiful Prince Edward Island, the country's smallest province, but also one of our most historically important. The reason we're here is because the focus of the country has now turned to this little island, as it has become the battleground for for Canada's ongoing mass immigration debate. For the past week, a large group of Indian students and workers with expiring permits and relatively low skills in our economy have been protesting the provincial government and demanding that they be to work and stay in PEI.
I came as a student, international student, and I did my study in Toronto, Ontario. Then I made a decision to come in PEI for my better future, and yeah. So over here, then we got into industry of sales and service factor. We had to do a experience of 1 year in order to be eligible for the PR and all. So basically, there are three categories. So first one is like a critical stream where we have to have an experience of 6 months. Once we are done with the experience of 6 months, we are eligible to get a PNP, which stands for Provincial Nominee Program. That's why we guys are over here. And in the beginning of I would say January 2024, they eradicated the sales and service factor, and they eliminated us at all. Like we guys were never over here.
So that's one of the things that we've been noticing about this protest. We don't know, like, whether you guys were international students or whether you guys were TFWs. So did most of you come as students? Mm-hmm. Most of you came as students, and did most of you study in Ontario first before coming to PEI?
Yeah, so all of us are international students. It's not only about like most of them come from Ontario. Like people came over here across Canada. It doesn't matter whether they are from British Columbia or from Alberta, Manitoba. Doesn't matter. Some of them are from Quebec as well. So people chose PI across Canada. So yeah, so it's not for a single province.
Is everyone involved in this protest? Did they all come as international students originally? What was their basis for coming to Canada in the first place?
Yes, so basis of them was they came in as international students on study permits, but the government allows us, the provincial governments and federal government, there are pathways for permanent residency. Those are open for international students, and it is our right to choose those pathways.
The province of...
They're right. It's their right.
Well, I mean, I kind of sympathize with these guys. I mean, they shouldn't be in this position. I mean, Canada fucked up getting everybody in these positions. I mean, it's all these. Remember, we talked about that.
What position? He came over here on a student visa.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have brought up. How many of those were even not proper colleges? Remember, we talked about this.
They weren't. It's a diploma mill. I'm sure about that.
Diploma mill. So I mean,
but it goes back to your other article. If you were going to the States on a student visa, do you expect that you can just stay there forever, and you need to get permanent residency now because they let you come for school?
No, but I guess what I don't like is the way that we're changing it for them, right? Like, all of a sudden they're cutting back on it. Like we shouldn't get in this situation where there's too many people, no matter what. Like, why are we bringing in 1.5 million? I mean, we shouldn't be in this situation. It's not their fault that we're in this situation.
I agree, but they also shouldn't expect that you get to stay here on a student visa.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, if you thought you could, and then they tell you, oh,
eating the system. No, because the way to get in the country is to apply for is to immigrate legally. Yeah. It's not to sneak in on a backdoor student visa thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they were probably fed a bunch of lies. I mean, it's a big grift.
Like, I don't know, that it seems to me like that was their plan from the get-go. And they're going to PEI because it's the easiest province to swing it in.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he just said we all came to PEI from all over because why? Why didn't you stay in Ontario?
Why did you? Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting
because you figured out that there's some weird statistical advantage to going there instead, is what I think. Whatever that is. I mean, I'm sure they're closing it up. Whatever statistical advantage that there was to being PEI is probably closing now.
I mean, but doesn't that seem a bit weird that you would go to a province with 184,000 people? You're going to show up like a sore thumb if you have that many people like coming from all over.
Well, you wouldn't know that though until you got there.
Of course you would know. If you've done all this other research about loopholes and stats, you would know that it's a small population. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, I don't know, but you might just look and say, "Oh, look at that! They got no Indians there. I'm way more likely to get my PMP approved than I am in fucking Toronto, which is right. You know, that's where Brantford is. It's like Little India."
Yeah, yeah.
I don't mean that in a derogatory sense, but I
no,
mean,
exactly.
Brantford will win every election. It'll be an Indian dude forever because it's all Indians. So, if you were there, there's probably a lot of Indians trying to get that paperwork.
Dude, when I played in the World Championships, ball hockey championships, Team India was a bunch of Ontarios, like Ontarians. And BC had a huge India. I mean, I was playing against Indian teams all the time, and they were great at ball hockey. There was some of the best ball hockey players were East Indian. I mean, they were unbelievable. And there was some good like Team Pakistan and Team India were from basically Canadians. Actually, well, so was Team Italy. They were just a bunch of Toronto guys too. I mean, and we were in Team
Canadians
yeah, and we were Team UK. I was playing for UK, so we were kind of a ragtag group. I mean, you know.
Wait, why were you playing for the UK?
Because we had a citizenship. So a bunch of me and my friends all got our citizenships, and we played for Team UK.
You still have it?
Yeah, I do. I found it.
UK passport?
No, but I have citizenship. So
what does that get you?
It probably gets me over there to stay as long as I want, I would think.
And like in those other expat countries too?
Well,
is that a pretty powerful passport?
I probably need a passport for that, which might be.
But you could just get one, can't you, if you're a citizen?
I probably could, yeah.
I wonder if you'd have to give up your Canadian one.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I know. I was really considering yeah. I mean, it would be cool to go visit for a longer period of time. You know, pick a secluded place in the Dales or something, or